What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Be sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. Yeah, it's out. At least the first two episodes. Let's get into it. I'm not going to go everything beat by beat, and it really depends on your frame of reference for some of this stuff. Because if you had never seen X-Men '92, the original series that this is continuing on, and if you didn't pay attention to any modern politics, and you didn't know anything about the writer, or and who the executive producer was, or any of the intention behind it, I think you would think it was fine. There's nothing here that's ruined my childhood yet. That being said, even though there are a bunch of traditional storytelling with the X-Men, when you know it was a gay black man writing a lot of the thoughts and things behind it, boy, did it come off as it's just modern politics, as far as like the enemies and the bad guys and some of the things they say. And oh, they're all white, the villains, huh? And then the two black X-Men show up together to beat them up. And then, oh, look, there is one black villain, but of course that's when Cyclops shows up to take care of him. I'm talking to the very beginning when they're fighting their essentially their anti-mutant squad that ends up playing on later. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself because, again, a lot of this is pattern recognition, and they're doing everything they're supposed to do, and these connections will be made no matter what. I'll tell you what, there's for sure a January 6th thing that happens in the second episode where, again, getting ahead of myself, but Magneto shows up, of course. We find out, yes, he looks like that, but we find out that he has been left the X Mansion and the X-Men, and the last will and testament of Charles wants him to be the leader of the X-Men. And of course, in this X-Men, everyone comes back, including Morph, who is completely different than the Morph we used to know. He acts completely different. It acts, because he's non-binary officially now, walks around most of the time like that. And originally he looks like this. And every once in a while they go out to a club, and he sort of switches to a version that looks like this, but it's not as angular, and the personality isn't the same, and they didn't use the same voice actor or person. And the laughing and like sarcastic. He's sort of like a non-binary little bitch boy. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's in my head. That's the non-binary little bitch boy, because that's how he acts. And he's friends with Wolverine, and then they're at the club, and Wolverine is boo boo bee boo about the fact that Jean Grey is super pregnant right now with Scott's kid, and of course made a joke about it before it even happened. But Morph switches in to look like Jean Grey and starts consoling Wolverine. Wolverine even starts to talk to Morph, as if it was Jean Grey before catching himself. And I swear to God, I promise you, in somewhere, certainly in maybe Beau's mind, it's been written in this universe that Wolverine has gotten drunk and fucked Morph here while in Jean Grey guys. I'm saying it. Yep, I did it. And yes, Rogues, the top two, they're not jokes. When this scene right here happened, they did a pan in. I audibly went, "Oh my God!" They took all the ass away. No one had ass in this show, by the way. No one. And yes, I know this is probably comic accurate, but at a certain point, the UN Council that was all white shows up and wants to take Magneto to try him. And of course, Magneto is trying to prove that he's good, because he's trying to be honorable and do what his friend Charles wants him to do, and peace and unity and love. And so he goes with them. And then of course, it's while we're here at the UN that the January 6th analogy happens, and the protesters, which were ramped up by inside agents in the thing. I would say that, again, and a lot of the cops in this just open the doors and let them in. I don't know what's going on, but so there's a big fight at the UN. Before let's just say Storm sacrifices herself. It's looking like she doesn't have any more powers because she got zapped with some sort of genetics gun. Oh, you eugenicists are gonna love that. Yeah, look, there were some scenes I liked. I liked Jubilee. The whole first episode basically was around an introduction, reintroduction, even though it's supposed to be a continuation. And their Sunspot character, which really just seemed like a Beau DeMayo self-insert, which I thought he was a very effeminate character. And then all of a sudden he made a pseudo flirt with Jubilee at the time. I was like, oh, okay. You had me in the first part. There's some good fight scenes. There were some good fight scenes. And the one that they get attacked by Sentinels in midair and their plane crashes. And while it comes apart, you know, Rogue and Storm sort of give each other the look because, you know, well, we're the only two that can fly and go around and grab who they can. And no one is going for Cyclops. And I thought they were going to go for like a Justice League Batman moment where he, at the last seconds, like, you know, I'm still falling. Just a reminder, I can't fly. Instead, he does I'm not sure the science of this, but he just does full blast laser vision right into the ground, slows his descent. So, oh, and the voice acting. Boy, this is going to be one of those, like, and rightly so. It is hard to please us fans in some way because, look, they did something we would normally be very happy about. They brought back all the original voice actors for the most part. And the problem with that is they brought back all the original voice actors and it's been decades. So some of the characters sound good. I like Wolverine. Like the clip we heard in the trailer sounded a little iffy, but in the full context of it, Wolverine sounds fine. He sounds how I remember him. Cyclops is really good. Jean Grey is fine. Storm is really good, even though, God, they are verging on making her see you next Tuesday. If you didn't know her and like that strength of a character. Got better at the end when she had to deal with something. So, but the one for me that is like, ooh, is Rogue. That's the one where you're sort of, you're in your age, honey. It's like hearing Marge Simpson lately. It's just, you can tell. And speaking of Rogue, I had it here. Speaking of her assets, they do the comic connection between her and the fact that she used to be in the Brotherhood. Yeah, they not only do they answer to the fact that Magneto has smashed them cheeks that used to exist and have been taken, but they sort of allude to the fact that it's going to happen again, which also I just want to talk about. I didn't find the picture, but Gambit he is ignored basically with the one exception of riding Wolverine giggity at the very end when he charges him up and then jumps off, and then Wolverine does like a jump off of Morph, who turns into the fat one I can't think of, Blob, and launches them in sort of like a ghetto fastball special. Other than that, Gambit not really there. They gave him a weird ass hairstyle underneath there with not a mullet but a mullet, and then like constant midriff, again questionable. And now he's being cucked by Magneto because Magneto can create the electromagnetic barrier around him. And so he can touch Rogue when no one else can. So forbidden fruit on that end. Other than that, I can't recommend it yet. Again, Bishop was underused. No problem with him. This dude, I forgot his name, but he's supposed to be Sunspot. He is a Brazilian mutant that can, I don't know, he literally turns all black and has to do with solar flares and whatever. So more on him. Jean is very pregnant. Again, her and Cyclops were going to leave before Magneto shows up. And I like Jubilee. Wolverine is cool. I like got a lot of subtext going around with him. Beast, great. His dialogue, again, returning actor, all good. Again, so Gambit is getting cucked. Storm don't have no more powers. God knows when or how they're going to do that. But Morph is a completely different character. Bishop was underused. Beast was fine. The star, really, of the entire shows are surprisingly Scott. He wants to be the leader of the team, thinks he has to be, and then he gets this fastball of Charles putting Magneto. Those are the two stars. And then the secondary big stars are, it seems like Storm and her whole arc of she'd have no more power, and Rogue and her connection to Magneto. And then everyone else they're there. Like I said, Jubilee had some good moments trying to get back the kid. Again, shows you how forgettable. I don't remember his name. Miguel Agu something, some Brazilian name. Sorry, no offense, slight offense, whatever. Do better, Beau. Oh, you can't because you got fired. That's right. Still no word on what that was beyond that they apparently were creeped out by his OnlyFans behavior, even though it was a non-nude OnlyFans. So how much damage can you get up to on a non-nude OnlyFans? I don't know. The Badger doesn't condone that sort of degeneracy until I decide to make one. So let me know if you want, not me, but an actual like Badger, and it would just be funny ass Badger things. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, I cannot recommend this. It's only 2 episodes, so I'll keep watching because it didn't off-put me. There was no offense. And like I said, even the things I'm making about the jokes that I'm seeing, it's only because I'm aware of who was writing it and the climate of the times and the pattern recognition. But if you had taken all the things said and all the little scenarios and you had put it 20 years ago, no one would be having those reactions. I don't think. But let me know if you think I'm over or underreacting, whatever. I know. Reaching, right-wing conspiracy, January 6th, blah, 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 blah. All right. Yeah, let me know. It wasn't horrible. Wasn't horrible, but it wasn't a recommend. So, yeah. I gotta say the thing. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you've done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And
well, bye.